We keep having all these problems, how we gonna solve them? Every day it's the same thing. All these unsolved issues, I guess it's official. Here we go again, the same old thing. And I'm tired of arguing and lying, so goodbye.
Good morning, everybody. It's your girl, Miracle Sims, and you're listening to God, Sex, and Love, your daily dose of inspiration, the juice. It is May the 4th, 2024, and today the topic is the Bible is relevant for today. Happy Saturday, everybody. Yes, happy Saturday. I hope you guys had a wonderful Friday. Mine was just fine. Yes, mine was pretty darn good overall, man. Y'all know, if you tuned in yesterday, you know that your girl went over there to, oh man, the name of the school is away from my mind. A primary school over in Monticello, Georgia, and I was at their career day. I was only in maybe 3 classrooms and whatnot. Each classroom, I had like a little bit of a different experience with each group, but overall, it seems like your girl might have been encouraging and inspiring to the youth with the things that I have going on. The last room that I ended up going to was my cousin's classroom. So shout out to KC, my awesome cousin that is a teacher that happened to, suggest yours truly to come in and speak and whatnot. And her class was awesome. I mean, all the classes was awesome, but I mean, obviously, it's a little special touch or whatever when it came to her class because one again with her being my cousin, two, they it seemed like they was really excited about everything that I had going on, and I took time to play a little improv game with them. I let them listen to my music. I answered their questions about me and my endeavors as well as whatever they wanted to ask. And that group actually ended up giving me gifts and whatnot as well. Like she had me some flowers and a card and a gift card. And her students had made some, handmade some letters and notes and cards. And the school itself gave a couple of certificates. I don't know why I ended up getting 2, but I ended up getting 2 certificates, thanking me for coming, as well as a little gift bag. And that just was above and beyond like what I was even thinking. I just was going with just the intention to go encourage and inspire. I wasn't thinking that I was going to get anything. But yeah, man, it was an exciting day. And yeah, it's very fond memories. I posted about it on my social media, or at least on my personal Facebook. So those that know my full name and all that good stuff, y'all could probably see it. I've been noticing that I haven't really been posting many personal things on my Instagram and whatnot anymore. Do y'all miss seeing my personal life? Or y'all just like getting the quotes and the, general stuff that's coming out and stuff like that? Y'all can let me know. Again, y'all know I'm actress Miracle Sims on all the social medias. And so, yeah, man. So that was yesterday in a nutshell. On my way back home, I ended up just grabbing some lunch for me and my family, and then I had lunch, and then I just ended up taking a nap because I was up super early yesterday, and then with all the driving, because again it was about an hour away, and things like that. My husband went off and did some stuff or whatever the case may be, so I had the evening to myself. So by the time I woke back up, I just pretty much was binge watching the show on Prime. I'm into historical, I guess. I don't know if it's fiction or not, but so it was like one of those historical shows. But anyway, so I was watching that, at least the first season, and yeah, that was pretty much my Friday in a nutshell. There's a couple of things I forgot to tell you guys about. I wrote it down to share, but then I guess I was just so, engulfed in what the Lord had gave me yesterday that I forgot to share with you guys a couple of things. One, y'all know that yesterday was Friday, right? So we had an episode of the GSL talk show that came out. Thank you to those that have watched it. If you have not, all you got to do is go to godsexandlove.com, and it should be our featured video for the next week. It is with Miss Catherine. I don't think I wrote her last name in a clear way for me to be able to read it, but her name is Catherine, and she is the host of Opportunity Made or something like that. You guys can go and tune into that episode that came out last night. And also yesterday was the National Day of Prayer. Um, yeah, I didn't really hear much about it. I saw a couple of people posting about it, but then again, I wasn't really on social media and stuff because I was more so driving yesterday and stuff. And then by the time I got back home, I wasn't again on social media that much. I just was woosah, resting, and all that type of stuff. So there might have been more things out there available about National Day of Prayer. I hope that people did take the time to pray, seek the Lord about themselves and their personal lives, but then also for our nation as well. Because yeah, y'all know there's a lot going on. But anywho, so let's talk about today. Let's talk about today. So again, yes, it's Saturday, y'all. It's been raining all morning. I want to say it just slowed up. I was considering taking NJ to soccer. I didn't officially sign him up for it yet, but the rain was like, they just gonna be out there in the mud. I don't know. And then Brother Emmanuel, he ended up counseling it or whatnot. So maybe next week we'll see. But yeah, that's what happened this morning. I've been up since 5. I don't know what time I woke up this morning. Some time. I made a note of it, and it was significant to the verses and whatnot that I came across. But overall, I just not to say my mind was all over the place, but kind of. I was just thinking and praying about a lot of different things. I listened to the prayer meditation. I did all of that, but I don't remember it at the moment. But at some point, I started to just go I went over there to again, our sponsor, chatholybible.com. I have the app, so I went to the app itself. But yeah, I went to that app and was just having a conversation with the AI about different things. But ultimately, I ended up just kind of thinking about, well, one, I asked it a question. I was saying, I said, what is the, not say most popular, or okay, I said it like this. I said, what is the number one question that people have about the Bible? Because as I was going through my little back and forth with the AI and whatnot, I just was like, why is it so difficult for us to believe in? And, all these questions that I was asking back to back. So then ultimately I was just like, what's the number one question that people have about the Bible? And the number one question that came up was, how can I apply the teachings of the Bible to my everyday life? How can I apply the teachings of the Bible to my everyday life? This question actually is kind of significant because I want to say the other day on Thursday, one of my fellow church members asked a similar question as we discussed. I told you guys I had talked to one of the lady that had just passed. That's one of my coworkers. I was talking to one of her friends on Thursday, and ultimately she basically, as she was sharing with me how she felt about everything, she said that she sent an email to the pastor, kind of asking him, again, how can she use what he taught us in the second week of the Happy series, which I guess was about mourning and things of that nature, and how could she put that into, again, her life and the situation with losing Deanna, is the name of our fellow member at the church and whatnot. And so, and as I listen to her and whatnot, so again, with that question coming up, how can we apply, again, the Bible's teachings to our everyday life? And then knowing that she had just asked a similar thing just a few days ago, I kind of went deeper about that this morning. And, I hope that I can encourage and inspire this conversation, and at least get us all thinking about this and trying our best to apply the Bible to our lives. Because I think, yeah, for some reason, it's like we read it and we see what it says, but then for some reason it doesn't resonate or whatever the case may be. And so I was asking a few questions about that, but let me go ahead and tell you guys the definition of the word relevant. So it says closely connected or appropriate to what is being done or considered. So closely connected or appropriate to what is being done or considered. So with that being said, as I was asking some of the questions about, like, well, why are we like this, and why can't we just receive what the Bible is saying? And on some hands, it seems like it's just simple, saying basic, simple things, but at the same time, we have a hard time either believing it or we have a hard time accepting it, right? So here's some reasons. Here's some reasons why this could be. It could be your personal convictions, okay, like whatever it is within you, your personal convictions and belief. Also, the cultural and societal influence can have an effect on, again, whether you believe what the Bible has to say. Because again, maybe you grew up a certain way, or you live in a certain society, things of that nature. Um, Intellectual obstacles, as we gain wisdom and feel like we are, more wise or smart or whatever the case may be. I thought we talked about, what was that, a few days ago, like, are you smarter than our creator and things like that. We tend to think we are. Um, so that could be a obstacle against you. Also, spiritual resistance. Now, it's interesting because as I was looking into the spiritual resistance side, now my mind starts to go towards, again, the enemy and his demons and things of that nature, right? But um from what I'm understanding, like, even as I looked into that, that wasn't necessarily talking about that type of stuff at all. It was just spiritually, um the resistance, I would say probably even your flesh and things of that nature. um and then the lack of understanding, like, we just read reading it and it can be plain, but at the same time we may not fully understand what it's saying because of either the context or things of that nature. And so all of these reasons can be reasons that we reject the Bible, right? We reject it as the truth. We reject it as God's word. We reject it as, again, something that we should live by, because maybe one of these reasons is why we feel like it's not relevant, or whatever the case may be, to our lives today and things like that. Now, I'm just one person, but as I go on this journey, I mean, again, the more I read the Bible, the more I feel like it does answer, again, a lot of life's questions and issues. Um, again, I was telling you guys yesterday, I felt like we need to look at it more so like a book of warnings, a book of, information and warnings for us, and things like that, versus a book of rules and do's and don'ts and whatnot. Um, but let me see. I wrote down another little list of things that ultimately, basically, a quote that I came across, and it says this: the acceptance and application of biblical truths require surrender to God's will and commitment to living out his principles in everyday actions and choices. I know that's pulp, right? You might not like to hear that, but that's what it's going to require, for us to, again, accept the Bible as relevant and true and all these different things. In order to even, we got to do that first in order to then understand that it is relevant for today. Like, it's something that you can apply to your everyday life. You just have to actively, again, surrender and, I don't want to misquote. Let me say it again: surrender and, commit to living it out. And again, I know the easy way to say that is, again, what would Jesus do every time we come through some type of situation, whatever the case may be? What would Jesus do? I mean, that's one way to do it, but again, just humbling ourselves in that way. I mean, I feel like I try to share here how I do that, and what that looks like in my life. But I mean, everybody has to make that decision for themselves. So let's get into some Bible verses, y'all. All right. These are the verses that were standing out to me this morning. Hebrews 4:12 says, "For the word of God is living and active, sharper than any two-edged sword, piercing to the division of the soul and of spirit, of joints and of marrow, and discerning the thoughts and intentions of the heart." So, what stood out to me the most this morning as I was writing this verse down is just the first part. The word of God is living and active. Therefore, again, it is relevant for today, um, because it is, I mean, again, you can read the same thing all the time and it gets to have a whole different, as you grow in your spiritual maturity and understanding, then you'll start to, again, receive it differently and whatnot, right? You can read something and it's like, I don't get what this is saying at all. And then you read it again, you pray about it, you meditate on it, and the Lord, gives you another spark of wisdom. And then next thing you know, you have an understanding that you first didn't have. I see that Miss Leah Farrakhan is tuning in. So let me see what she's saying here. The most important thing, she said, it's the most important thing, no matter your faith, it's about how you apply the Bible, Quran, or Torah in your daily life. It doesn't matter how you act in church, mosque, or temple. Well, yeah, that definitely brings up a great point. A lot of times, again, we think that just going to the church or whatever case may be is good enough, or just, for example, hearing a word from the pastor, whatever case may be, and that's good, right? All of that can be good. Even listening to daily inspiration, whatever it is, can be great and good. But if we're not studying it for ourselves, then that's going to be something that it's going to stunt your spiritual growth. And then not only just studying it, right, hearing it and studying it, but are you applying it? That is another thing as well. Now, I know when it comes to the Bible, I mean, that's a whole, different thing and stuff. I know that's one of the things I kept asking the app this morning, because I was like, is there any way possible that the Bible isn't true, right? Or is there any way possible that I just focused on whether the Bible is true. That's the question I kept asking you or whatever. And of course, it's going to come from the biblical perspective because it's a Bible-based app and whatnot. But I mean, that's what we all have to wrestle with, right? Whether we believe or not. And then again, what you're going to do with it, how you're going to apply the things that you are studying and receiving. So then let's talk about 2 Timothy 3:16-17. It says, all scripture is breathed out by God and profitable for teaching, for reproof, for correction, and for training in righteousness, that the man of God may be complete, equipped for every good work. That's why none of us has arrived. That's why, again, we need Jesus and things of that nature, because we are in a constant, growth and study period right now when it comes to being on earth. Now, that was another thing I was asking this morning. I was like, well, Lord, why couldn't you just, I mean, I was asking the app, but talking to the Lord as well. I just was like, well, at some point, right, we hear about new heaven, new earth, things like that. And it's supposed to be a place where, again, we can't sin anymore, things of that nature. So why don't we just do that now, right? Like, why can't we just have and do that now? Now, again, maybe because a lot of us wouldn't make it if he went ahead and did it now, right? Maybe he's, giving us more grace and opportunity to come to him and things of that nature. Again, there could be, again, much more going on than we think when it comes to the true answer of why. But I don't know, like I said, I was going deeper about that and just speaking to the Lord about, like, why is it this way or that way. And ultimately, again, like I said, it's kind of, I chuckle every time someone says there's no book on how to be a parent, or there's no book to life, or whatever the case may be. I'm like, yeah, it's the Bible. That's what I believe, because again, as you read it, you see all the different things that it addresses. It addresses pretty much every aspect of life. I mean, I've sat here since April 1st, 2020, and shared like different topics, different things that has come into my heart and mind to study, and it's there. Very few times have I looked up something that was not in there. So it's just something to think about. I mean, again, you can have it right in front of you, but if you're not, again, reading it, applying it, things of that nature, it's just another book, right? And unfortunately, I think that's what a lot of us think and believe. Here's another verse, y'all. It's Matthew 4:4. It says, but he answered, it is written, man shall not live by bread alone, but by every word that comes from the mouth of God. I mean, again, all of this might be pulp this morning. I don't know. Maybe it's things we don't like, and things like that. Again, maybe we want to. I keep going the ignorance is bliss route, right? We might want to think, oh, there's no way that everything could be, in the Bible, or there's no way, maybe it's better for us, right, to think that it's not relevant for today, right? I think a lot of times, even with all the reasons that people can give, right? Again, like personal convictions, all these different things can be a reason why. But I think the other ultimate reason is that why we can't receive it as truth is because we just don't want to. I think that's probably one of the main issues, is that, again, we don't want to believe. We don't want to accept it as truth. And now the only thing about that is that it seems to be a huge choice and decision to not accept it as truth. And again, I was asking the Lord about that, because I was like, well, Lord, why didn't you just, make us all robots forced us to believe whatever it is, like, because at least we would all live or whatever, you know what I mean? But again, I understand that that's not true love, that's not true service, whatever the case may be, if we're forced to believe anything. So I get it. I know I asked the question a lot, but I ultimately I understand the answer. But yeah, I mean, we gotta trust him, his will, his way, his plan, and hopefully, this conversation has helped encourage you and inspire you to understand that yes, the Bible is relevant for today. It has plenty of information that you can apply to your everyday life right now. And here in 2024, I guess, and beyond, is it 2020? Yeah, 2024 and beyond. And yeah, man, that's ultimately the juice this morning. I listen. The Bible verse of today is Psalm 139, 11 and 12. It says, "If I say, surely the darkness shall cover me, even the night shall be light about me. Yea, the darkness hideth not from me, but the night shineth as the day. The darkness and the light are both alike to thee." Friends, I hope y'all enjoyed this juice this morning. Thank you so much for listening to God, Sex, and Love, your daily dose of inspiration, the juice. I pray you guys can go forth and have a wonderful day, and I look forward to talking to you all on Monday, if the Lord's will. Bye-bye. And there you go. Facebook, YouTube, Rumble, anybody listening to the sound of my voice. Hope that you all are encouraged and inspired. Thank you so much for listening, watching, subscribing, and sharing all those wonderful things. Thank you to the people that was tuning in live. Thank you to Ms. Leah for commenting, things of that nature. Yeah, man, I already told you guys, I was invited to do an event, but I don't think I'm going to do it. I think I'm going to do it, let the lady know I'm not going to be able to do that. Again, soccer doesn't look like soccer's going to happen. So who knows? We might start our Cinco de Mayo festivities early, man. I know it's tomorrow. And we've already been kind of talking about like what we want to eat and stuff. So yeah, I guess that's the main plan for today. I mean, hubby's gonna be leaving, he got a task and whatnot to go do, but hopefully he'll get back safely and whatnot. We can start some Cinco de Mayo festivities. And yeah, I look forward to talking to y'all on Monday if the Lord's will. Bye.